Hey guys, back in the shop. So, it's been a long time since I put up a video of this unit here, this 1920 Hercules, horse and a half, hit and miss engine. What are we working on today? Well, we have not yet finished the valves. So let me just show you a quick, what is it? A quick little rendition of how I do the valves and how I bore out the valve guides. Here's the head, and I got these bolts in here. So when I do the reaming, I can just have a level surface to work off of. Valves, we have some brand new valves from some milling valves. They're like $6 a piece. Cheaper than making your own, and cheaper than buying them from the jobbers, from the stealers. The big holdup, the great big holdup on the whole project has been this lathe. So I got myself some new tooling, new quick change. And anyway, the head needed new bearings on the left and the right side. One's bigger than the other. They're tapered roller bearings. As you know, they're not cheap. These ones have a flange on top of each one that rest up against the cast housing. What we did was we made a holder for the cup, and then the cone goes inside the cup, and that is the cheaper way. All total, all in, all done, about 75 bucks. Way cheaper than about 1,500 bucks it was going to cost to get Timken to remake the bearings, and that's what they do nowadays. You guys probably haven't seen this. This is my Black & Decker, which back then in the early 50s, late 40s, was distributed by Snap-on Tools. This is what I used to cut valve faces. Faces? Yeah, valve faces. And super handy, super great shape. I had to get a piece to dress the stone, and I needed the lathe to turn down the diamond tipped stone dresser. So before I could do anything with the valves, I had to fix that little piece there so I could cut valve cut valve faces. So yeah, anyway, one thing led to the next, and it was just a fucking shit show, if you can understand what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's get down to business. So what is this? That's an adjustable reamer. This one is, God, I can't remember, like 830 seconds to 1130 seconds. I got a whole box of them here in this cheddar cheese box. Let me show you one. I got a whole bunch of stuff in here. I got some solid reamers, but this is an adjustable reamer. This one's 1530 seconds to 1730 seconds. I like the adjustability of a reamer. I don't like a solid, fractional reamer, just because when I use a reamer, I like to sneak up on it. I don't want to drill, like I drill close to the actual size of what I want, but then, I take the reamer and I just sneak up on it by, 3 or 4 thou at a time. So the way the reamer works is you just back off one side, and yeah, this one's being fucking fussy because I haven't used it for a while and it's kind of dirty. You back off one side and you move the cutting blades down or up, and that either increases the size of the reamer or decreases the size of the reamer. The reason I like this particular reamer is because the one end is tapered. It's a tapered adjustable reamer. So it's tapered reamer is come on brain, for fuck's sakes, aligning. That's the word, aligning. And a self-aligning reamer you don't need a guide with. It just runs its way in, and then you can turn in, the rest of the way. Alright, so do I have to tell you guys about taking accurate measurements? I shouldn't have to, but this is a Michitoyo 6-inch caliper. It's industry standard in the business, and it is fucking bang on nuts to the half thou. You can piss away all your money if you like on shitty little Harbor Freight mics and calipers, but in the end, buy yourself a good Michitoyo. Anyway, the valve is 0.340. I'm looking for about 3.341 or 3.342, and yeah. The thing is, when you're measuring your reamer, don't measure the face of the reamer, measure the cutting corners of the reamer, not the flat part of the reamer, because the flat part of the reamer doesn't do fuck all for cutting. It's the edges that do the cutting. So, like I said, just sneak up on it. Anyway, so my valve is 0.340. I'm looking for like 0.341, something in there. And this fucking thing. Yeah, 0.341.5. That'll do it. That gives a thou and a half. Anyway, run your reamer in. I like to run my reamer in my drill. I don't do it by hand, but I run it loose in the drill, so if it binds, it just slides in the drill chuck. So, no biggie that way. Nothing snaps. I don't have to fuck around with it later, trying to dig it out. And anyway, run it too slow. Don't put a bunch of weight against it. Don't let it bind, and do it dry. Because here's the deal with cast iron: it's got a shitload of carbon in it, and carbon is a natural lubricant, so you don't need a bunch of lubricant itself. Well, that's about it for valves and guides, and we haven't talked about faces yet. We'll do that next time. Anyway, man, see how it just falls in under its own weight? It barely wants to go in. That's a thou and a half or a thou clearance right there. The issue with not doing valve guides is if they're loose and wobbling in there like the old valves were, which were about 20 thou out, which were just flopping in there, is that eventually the face of the valve dishes out by hitting the seat. And when it dishes out, it doesn't make a sealing surface, and then in no time at all you have no sealing surface, and you can't hold compression. And that is often the problem. I don't know why people just don't change them more often. Change the valves, do a valve job. It's so easy with some simple knowledge. Anyway, listen, you guys want to know some more information about valves or guides or whatever, just drop me a message down in the comments, and I'll see if I can help you out. Anyway, till later, till the next episode, which will be sooner than the last one. Catch you later, and good night.
What happened?
Faster, Carl! Faster, Carl! Faster! He made it.